Welcome to Flirting with Realities. My name is Eric. This is my co-host Carol. She's also my beautiful, loving wife. And what were we going to talk about today, Carol?
We were going to talk about all the changes we've been making in our lives and how we feel about them.
So for what, for example? What's the first change that we made?
Well, we started a discussion about hydroponics, and you built it before we left on our trip, and then we got back and just started our seedlings.
Yeah.
So that's a major change happening in our lives. One.
Which it doesn't sound like a major change, but I think it's one of those things you have to be in the situation to know how major it is. Well, and I don't know, maybe you and I have commitment issues too. I think I have commitment issues, and the reason I have commitment issues, I think, is because when I say I'm going to do something, I I have to do it.
Me too.
And I think a lot of people don't have commitment issues because they just go, yeah, let's go get married. Woo. And then a month later, they're like, that was a mistake, but who cares? Let's get a divorce.
Yeah.
But like, if I say I'm going to get married, I take that very seriously. And it might sound stupid, but hydroponics are the same. If I say I'm going to do hydroponics, I'm doing hydroponics. And so I think that's kind of important to preface because people are probably like, why would hydroponics be hard to do?
Yeah, because I agree. For us, if we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. And then the thought of what it looks like to do it. So our discussion about it before we even dove in was you could have all these vegetables and you need to eat them, and you're going to be eating vegetables at every meal. And what that means is you're not going to be able to have other things.
Well, and a commitment not to waste those vegetables, which we might be doing anyway because we could be so overwhelmed.
Yeah, for sure, because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's a new experience.
But I think that's the problem is I think you're a lot like me where it's hard to commit because there's a lot of like, well, I've got to think this through now. So it's like you got to not waste the vegetables. But it was also, I mean, I need to tally it up, but probably like $600 or $700 into the system.
Yeah, I think so.
Might be. Oh, I think after we buy the grow light, we'll be about $600 or $700 into it. So I mean that's a big commitment. Like I don't like just wasting money and then not doing anything with it.
Yeah, and starting something new, planting seedlings, uh, all of it is a little like it seems like it could be daunting.
Well, yeah, and then so we're wondering like how much is this going to take out of our daily routine? How hard is it? Like how much research you're going to do? To plant the seeds, to nurture the seeds, to move the seeds. How much is it's just like it? Like I said, I guess it's just a commitment that we didn't know. But anyway, it was a hard thing to commit to,
Definitely.
but we committed to it, and I think to go along with it. Well, I mean, well, I wanted to do. I think we need to do a whole episode on hydroponics and like the reasoning for it and all that stuff. So I think we could do that. But I guess going along with hydroponics is we made other changes in our life, right? Like we're trying to
Big
simplify.
changes.
Trying to simplify. So one of the big ones was, well, I think you could break it down, but I mean, combined all together, we quit the gym,
Yeah,
quit yoga.
you can combine it all together and then break it down.
Yeah, so quit gyms, quit the yoga, quit jujitsu. Had the kids. Well, the kids voluntarily quit jujitsu. And like not going to the gym is a big deal for us because on many accounts, right? Because number one is it's a drive. I mean, at least a half hour, maybe 40 minutes to get there.
I think 40 minutes usually.
Yeah, so there's over an hour, almost an hour and a half of your day. And then we started thinking about, well, what happens on that drive? Like how stressed do you get about somebody not going the speed limit or not going and this and this and I mean it's actually a really nice drive, but
It is a
anyway,
beautiful drive.
yeah, so there's just a lot involved, but that was scary too because for me I've never really worked out at home. I mean I've ridden my bike, which I guess, but I'm not riding my bike, you know, I'm not running. Like I'm doing yoga from home, so that was scary for me because I like being in the yoga studio. I like being around people. I like how they heat the room. I like the humidity. I like the music. I like everything about it. So it was scary for me. But
Different scary for me. My fear is that I won't be challenged enough at home. I have no problem working out at home. I used to work out at home, but I had equipment to work out at home.
mm,
So,
which you're lacking now.
yeah, I have a 25 pound kettlebell and like 8 and 10 pound weights. However, like I have some resistance bands. So, I mean, I have some things that I can diversify with, but yeah, I definitely am going to need to upgrade my weights a little bit, but I'm looking for stuff, for cheap stuff, because that goes into our next thing that we've been doing is not spending money on anything other than what we need.
Yeah. Which basically means food.
Yes.
Food and for me it's business. I mean you're not so heavy in the buying things to resell. So I mean you're not so heavy in that, but like literally cutting everything out, spending no money. And that was scary too, right?
Yes. It
That
is scary.
well, it's scary, and it's a thought that I think most people won't allow themselves. And we've talked about it a little bit, and I think it's the funniest part because all of this staying home has been amazing to me. Has been amazing.
You're not alone. I've thoroughly been enjoying myself.
Yeah. So when I started working out almost 10 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing. So I just started going to the gym, lifting weights and running and stuff. And I guess like I've never entertained like doing it at home because it's like in the beginning especially I was like scared like I wouldn't or just wouldn't exercise if I did it at home.
It definitely takes, I think, an added motivation. Like you need to make yourself do it.
Yeah.
There's something about the routine of getting in the car and going to the gym and like you're just going to do it. But when you're at home, I think it takes extra effort.
Well, it's kind of like what you were saying too though where um if you have a home gym, I mean obviously you just stay at home and work out at the gym.
Yeah.
But when you're new to exercising in general, it's kind of like what does exercise mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it means you go to the gym and you bench press and deadlift and stereotypical things. And I think it probably like would have had to taken me this long to do exercise to understand that I can do different things at home. Like yoga definitely wouldn't have been an option 9 years ago. That wouldn't have been a thing for me. But now I can run too, which I don't think I'll be doing. But I'm planning on hiking.
Yeah.
Um, I could even walk. I would like to ride my bike. In fact, maybe that's something I need to do here. Um, while it's still warm, I don't think I'll be doing that in the winter. But there's options. You figure that out, and I think that's what you're doing too, right? Is you've learned how to exercise, and so it's possible for you.
For sure.
I mean, you don't have any weights, and you're still doing it. Like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can there's plenty of things that you can do without weights.
Yeah, you
Just
should
fit
probably
fit.
do like YouTube. Are you doing YouTube videos on that?
Know what I'm going to. I thought of that today. I'm gonna because I've been doing my Instagram reels and it made me realize that there's actually like I would have enjoyed having the whole workout I did today 15
Oh,
years ago.
100%. That's what we're talking about. Is like I I mean I if I was going to do like weight training, it would be difficult for me. I'd have to do a lot of research.
Yeah.
So it'd be super nice if somebody like you like laid out some training days, especially because you know how to isolate things in the movements, shoulders and abs and whatever, biceps, whatever you're doing, chest. Like you know how to do that. And like most people I think would just be like, okay, well I'm gonna do some sit-ups and I'm gonna run in place or jump on a trampoline. And
Yeah.
when you know how to focus and isolate muscle groups, because for those listening, I mean, you want to isolate muscle groups and fatigue them, and concentrate on one so you can really get a workout in that one. I mean, you can do whatever you want with your exercise, but that's what a lot of people do, right? Isolate muscle groups.
Another thing too is I really enjoy it while I'm doing it, and I think that that energy would help people out.
Yeah. What I think you have, I mean, I think it's a really special skill that you actually have. Like I said, if I had to do strength training at home, I'd probably talk to you about it. you know. But anyway, it's so staying at home has been amazing because we've saved a ton of time, like an amazing amount of
Ton.
time. Like the day feels so much longer.
It's a life. It's an exceptional life change. Like I don't even know. I didn't even know it was an issue, but I think it was an issue.
It was an issue. I've always known it's an issue. And the problem is we really enjoy our gym time.
Yes.
So not only are we spending an hour to an hour and a half driving, but I mean, we easily were going to the gym a lot of times and spending 3 hours there.
Yeah.
So you're talking 4.5 hours a day. And then we'd always get home at like 9:30 or 10 and be like eating at 10 and like, why can't we get to bed on time and this and this? So it saved
Yeah.
us a ton of time. I mean, now it's like I just went and sat on the deck for like a couple hours after I worked extra long.
Right. I had dinner at 4:30, which I love because that's the way I like to eat. I don't
Yeah.
like having my meals at 10 o'clock at night.
Well, and then, usually we're doing this podcast at like 11 because that's when we can squeeze it in.
Yeah.
And right now I think it's like 8.
8:30, something like that. Yeah.
So it's been a huge time saver. And I don't know. It's like, I mean, think about 4.5 hours a day, times 7. It's an amazing amount of time that we're saving. And it feels that way. My days feel way longer, way, way longer,
I
but
feel more productive.
way more productive, getting
Yeah.
way more things done. That's what we were saying is when we'd go to the gym, I'd be like, okay, I'll be inside by 3:30 and I'll take a shower and we'll be out of here by 4:30. And, now it's like I'll work till 5 and then I'll sit on the deck and then I'll work out at like 8, do whatever. And it's just like, it's so much more chill.
Yeah.
And we don't have to see people in public, which is probably a good and bad thing. Like we're very
I think it's
isolated.
good and bad.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if anybody was listening to this and you were in a relationship and you guys irritate each other, it'd probably be a bad thing. But I mean, we've definitely gotten closer over it.
Yes, we have.
So it's spending time with each other has been awesome. So I mean, what time? Well, money. So I figured out, we were driving 44 miles, and my cars don't get great gas mileage. So between the gym memberships, yoga, and driving, it was close to like maybe $20 per day spent on those items every single day of the month.
Yeah.
Not whether you went or not. It's the driving was $12 a day, so it's $8 a day no matter if you're going or not from the memberships, and $12 for driving. So we're saving a ton of money, $600 a month. But then if you added the jujitsu in there, I think that put it like at $900-ish a month just for personal health, which is crazy. And right now we're down to zero.
That's insane.
So you can do it for free.
You definitely can do it for free. Ask me how. I'll just tell you later.
So what else were we going to talk about? It was, I mean, it just feels awesome. Saving time, saving money. Hydroponics are going good. We got the seedlings started.
Yeah, those are super exciting. They started growing way faster than I thought it would take like a week. I didn't know the next day there would be a sprout.
Yeah, what are we on, day 3 now?
3 or 4, and yeah, it's raging.
They're like little plants.
Yeah, there's a few that were wondering if the seeds were a dud, but
4.
Yeah.
4 out of 8 aren't making it yet, which is fine.
4 out of 12 or 4?
Oh, yeah. 8 out of 12 or 4 haven't made it.
Yeah.
And that means 8 have made it. So we've got 8 plants that are probably going to be ready to go in. So we bought an herb hydroponic station, which we're going to grow herbs in, but we're also going to use it as a seed starter because it's tiny. It's 18 inches by 12 inches maybe, and it's got a built-in light. It's got a pump with nutrient water. It's like the perfect seed starter. And it was relatively cheap. It was like $50. So we went for that, and so we're going to transplant those seedlings that we get out of that into our big hydroponic system that's like 8 foot tall, 4 foot wide, and then like doesn't stick out from the wall. So I mean,
Eric made that himself, and I'll be putting that on our YouTube, Flirting With Realities, if you want to check it out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think we need to do a whole podcast because the reasons to go with hydroponics is a pretty big deal, I think.
Yeah, it kind of goes with what we were talking about. I mean, we mentioned glyphosate last time. We're just really trying to get into health. We're already into health, but even furthering that along as much as we can, which growing our own vegetables will do that.
That's actually what I guess I was trying to get to about staying home, saving money, working out at home, is it was scary. Didn't want to do it because it's so different. There's a lot of, geez, I don't want to do this. But it's crazy how it took a commitment. And that's what I'm saying. Like for people listening, I think people are like, oh yeah, big commitment. And it's like, well, I want to see someone else do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like, listen, we're not the most special people in the world. There's definitely special people in the world, but I don't think a lot of people could just be like, hey, I'm going to hang up my everything I do and I'm going to do it at home. I'm not going to leave the house. I think it would be really tough for people to do.
I don't mean to point people out, but there are things that us Americans and maybe Europeans spend our money on. And I'll point at women right now. You know, you need to go to the spa, you need to get your massage, you need to get your nails done, your eyelashes, and whatever else. And people struggle to give those things up. I'm sure there are manly things that are hard for men to give up. I can't really speak on those.
Can you imagine like being a drinker and going to the bar every night? And then you're like, I'm going to drink at home. That wouldn't happen. I mean, I don't even think that would happen for me.
How hard would that be to drink at home?
It would be impossible.
You think so?
Well, yeah, I think they go out for the socializing.
I think I could drink at home.
Jeez, it'd be so depressing. Drinking by yourself.
Oh, well, I wouldn't do it alone. I mean, you would be here.
Oh. But anyway, so I like the point that I was trying to get to about all this is like you're saying we're doing hydroponics for our health. True. Well, health, money, being self-sufficient. There's a lot of reasons to do hydroponics.
Yeah, there's a ton of reasons.
But we're not necessarily staying home, not going to the gym and that just to be cheap asses. This isn't what we're doing this for. It's also like mental health. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we found is how much happier we are. And this is what the funny thing is to me is like, how hard was it to do? It was really hard. It was hard for me to stop spending money, and it's hard for me to commit to hydroponics, hard for me to commit to stay at home. But now that we're doing it all, like, holy shit, I should have been doing this so long ago. Like, there was no transition period. There's no withdrawal period. of like,
Yeah.
I really, dude, I just need to go to the gym one more time. Like, I miss it so bad. None. Like, day one staying home, like, even though I didn't have my yoga figured out, like, I didn't have my space figured out, didn't have anything figured out, it was still great.
I think that was all part of the process though for me because I didn't have mine all. I didn't know what I didn't pre-plan it, but I kind of enjoyed that process of not knowing and just kind of being like, this is just what I'm going to do today and progress forward with it. And I enjoyed that part of it. I've enjoyed it all too.
Yeah.
Zero, zero regrets.
But even the spending money
Yeah.
has felt so liberating because I don't feel like I'm being controlled. When I was spending money like just months ago, I'm like, oh, Amazon, let's buy some fucking pepper or whatever on Amazon. Whatever, you're just buying shit. Just whatever you need, just buy it. Just ship it to my house tomorrow. Like I felt controlled. I really did. And because I can feel things coming down the pipeline and I want to conserve my money. And I didn't feel like I was able to. I felt like it's just like, oh, well, it's just $10 for the pepper. Just buy the pepper. And I felt really controlled. And so now I feel totally in control because I'm not spending money. And that might have to go back with childhood issues that I have, but um, I just enjoy living this way. It's kind of like, how everybody wants like a huge house. They want like a 4,000, 5,000 square foot house and all this crap. The happiest I ever was when I lived in a like 700 square foot apartment.
I've told you my happiest time was in my tiny little condo. It was like my first place by myself, and I fucking loved it.
But don't you think that's kind of the same feeling as not spending money and staying home? It's just like a simpler life, a simpler living
Yeah.
living establishment. A tiny apartment is like so simple. It's like you don't have enough space to hoard shit. You know where everything's at because you don't have a lot of stuff. Like everything's just simple and perfect. And that's what I feel like these changes have been like is we don't leave the house and I just go up in the loft and I do yoga for an hour and and it's just simple. Like we just simplified our lives. And that
Yeah.
feels amazing.
You know what I do have to say? I mean, I don't think we were spending our money a lot
No.
compared to a lot of people. So that side of it, yeah, I mean, I was going to the grocery store if I wanted one of those probiotic sodas, or I was getting a Starbucks here or there. But I've actually thought about spending because I allowed myself to have those Starbucks on our vacation. And when I went and got it at the casino, it was $11.
Mm.
And it actually made me think because I judge people on buying things and then just throwing it away, or you don't really want it. I shouldn't say I judge people. I notice that that is a thing that we consumers do is we really want something really bad, we get it, and then it's really not that awesome, and then we get rid of it, we give it to Goodwill or whatever the process is. But it is very liberating not spending $9 at Starbucks or just stopping at Fred Meyer's and picking up hair oil that I want to try, or
Well,
yeah.
yeah, but that feeling is weird. It's weird to like I don't know, I don't like it.
Well,
Like
I think
I
sorry.
quit Starbucks months and months ago.
I did too, but I was allowing myself to have one.
Well, but I quit. So mine I quit and my drink wasn't expensive. It was like 350. But I just made the decision and this is funny too because this really brought a lot of satisfaction to me is my mom bought me a cold brew kit for home and I'm like I just want the cheapest fucking coffee ever made. Like I was like, I'm gonna get Folgers. And then I went to this store and I'm like, Folgers is how much? Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah, you had a hard time finding
Well, and then I
the
found
best
literally the
kind.
cheapest coffee ever, and it's delicious. It tastes so much better than Starbucks, and I just make it at home, and it doesn't cost me near three. And then I put as much half or heavy cream as I want in it, and like, but I'll put it in a tumbler or whatever, and then I'll take that to the mall. And to me, that feels liberating. It is not like, I guess I have an issue with spending money. I don't like spending money. It makes me feel gross. Unless, well, even if I'm buying something I want that's like really nice, I can't stand the feeling. I don't like spending money. It's not enjoyable at all to me.
If you think about it, that is what our world has made you a slave. We've talked about this. We've seen after schools on it. But you are a slave to consumerism. You are told that if you don't have this, your life is miserable, or you're going to age inappropriately, or your hair is going to dry out, or
You're not cool. You're not accepted.
yes,
Big one.
yes, especially for men, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
Just everybody, especially clothing. Like you have to wear certain clothing, or you're not accepted in society.
it's a thing.
That's a huge thing.
It's a crazy thing to, if you actually think about how crazy it is, it's just a bizarre thing to be a slave to.
But that's what I'm saying is I feel like there's, I'm not saying there's somebody pulling the strings necessarily, or that there's a program that makes us spend, but there's some pressure that I felt. And that's what I was trying to say about, I tried to quit spending money, but I just couldn't. And I felt controlled. Wherever that comes from, I don't know. I feel like there is like social pressure, like we're talking about. And there's like, fucking Christmas, fucking Easter, all these stupid holidays that we make up so we can spend more money. I mean, you can't tell me there's no pressure put on, but Valentine's Day, like you're just spending money, like birthdays, and it's like, it's nonstop. And then the new iPhone comes out, there's so much pressure to buy stuff. And it's like, I feel completely liberated is all I'm saying.
I do too.
Yeah. So it just, life's going really great right now. I wasn't exaggerating when I told you that today. Like the last few days of our life is exactly how I want the rest of my life to go.
Me too.
Like perfection. Like work has not been crazy busy. It's just been like slowly flowing in. I've enjoyed my days with you and just chilling. It's summer and like, I don't know, everything's just great right now. So, and I think these changes, I don't know. I guess that's what I would hope somebody could get out of this episode if somebody listened to it is, don't be afraid to make some changes. Like you can always go back. Like we can go to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah.
We could start driving again, go to the gym. We could spend all our money. You can do whatever you want. But what about, there's always like good ideas and things that make sense. And you go, that's a good idea. I should do that. And then you never do. And I think that's maybe, if I could put something out to the universe through this episode, that's what I would like, is just be like, hey, Carol and I are just we're making changes. We're adapting to what this world is giving us. And it feels better. And this goes back to our talk about living like Native Americans.
Yeah.
Because it's okay, that's scary. Like
it is very scary.
They're horribly scary. Like living in a teepee and like sitting next to a fire to stay warm in the winter and catching fish to eat and shit. It sounds shitty. But I think that's exactly what, like if somebody listened to this episode and they're like, okay, so these people decided not to travel to gyms and they quit the gym and, they're not spending money. Like that sounds shitty. It sounds shitty just like living like a Native American.
Yeah.
But it's not. And it kind of makes me start thinking like, maybe we should live in a teepee.
You know what, though, is our mindset is making it not shitty. It's like you said, like, could you imagine a couple doing this who have a struggle of working together on things? or disagreeing.
Well, yeah, okay. So like you have a husband and wife that are like, the husband's like, I think we should quit going to the gym. And she's like, no fucking way. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, it's
or
over
I
right
think you
there.
should quit getting your nails done.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I think you should quit buying your fucking car shit.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And then you're like, okay, well, I'll do it myself and I'll quit spending money. And then she's like, yeah, like I'll take his money.
More for me.
Yeah. Or, I shouldn't say, I should take the woman's side just so I don't trigger anybody, but totally how that, yeah, so you're right. It's tough out there for people. We're very fortunate to have the relationship we do. Um, I was going to touch on something else.
I
Oh,
mean, it's a good reason to build trust with each other and
man,
give each other's ideas a try because this is fucking amazing.
yeah, people just need to go to like your YouTube channel because having a good relationship and getting tips and like I just don't know how you do it with somebody that's not on the same page as you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just in a relationship where the person doesn't see eye to eye or they don't know what you're trying to do. And you imagine how helpless that would fucking feel, like going through all of this like inflation, or I just call it like apocalyptic stuff where everything's going downhill and that person you're working with doesn't make any changes and you're like, we need to make changes, like we're gonna die.
No, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I can imagine because I've had a shitty relationship, but I mean, it's hard to think about because even in thriving economic times, that was hard to deal with. So
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
choking and then having them finish it off.
Well, yeah, if you believe like we do that you need to make significant changes because you don't know what's coming and your spouse or partner didn't, that that would be stressful.
Yeah. Well, and that was going to be the other thing I was going to talk about it too. Is like I think what we're doing is we're adapting. I
Yeah.
think um, I mean, forgive the word, but we're like trying to be like psychic and see what's coming. And inflation isn't getting any better. Times aren't getting any easier. Like I think everybody needs to kind of look at that. And the more you adapt to that, the easier it's going to be when the time is actually here. And I think everybody's just kind of avoiding the truth. And I think that's why something like this is going to really benefit us because, inflation can get so crazy. Like I've already seen it, like with posts on Facebook with people going like, I can't buy shit at the grocery store anymore. And it's like, that's because you don't know how to buy shit at the grocery store. Like you can't be where we were 3 years ago where you just buy whatever you want at the grocery store. We're saying like, you
Yeah,
want some hair
$8
oil?
bag of Doritos.
Yeah, you like it's like Doritos are gone. They're
Yeah,
gone.
you get $1.99 oatmeal.
Well, but that's what you and I have done too. We go to the grocery store and there's some things that we're just done.
Yeah.
We just don't buy those things anymore as much as we want to. Like we went on vacation. I wanted a kombucha and it was like $5.50. And I was like, I'm just not doing that.
Yeah.
That is not a thing. But I think that's what we're doing right now. And this is a conversation we've had before. And if we could pass this on to people and understand this, I think it's a crazy valuable insight to have, which is you can adapt and take the example of working out at home or eating at home. You can adapt, and then it's your decision that you made, and you can find happiness in that. But if you don't adapt, and then like you go to the grocery store and you can't afford shit, and you're just coming up empty, now you're a victim. Now you're a victim, and you're at home and you're poor. You don't have the food you want to have. You don't have because you don't have the knowledge, and you don't make the changes. Now you're a victim, and you're the one that's standing in line to get that government cheese that they're going to control you with. That's what hydroponics is about, right? Like make the move while you still have the money and the resources right now, right? Like that's what we're doing, setting ourselves up so you don't get in that position of standing in the line for the cheese, and then they tell you that you have to whatever fill out forms and take a vaccination to get that cheese or whatever they're doing, because it's not just giving out free cheese. They want something. They're going to control you. So, but that's what we've talked about, right? Is like hydroponics, maybe get some chickens, hunting and fishing, and being self-sufficient, you know, and then it's actually freedom. But when you don't have any food and you're begging for food and you're turning tricks for the government for food, you're a victim now, and you are a victim. You will be a victim. So it's that's another thing. It's another huge reason to adapt, because it can make you even happier than you are now, which is funny. And if you don't adapt, then it makes you way more miserable, which is, I don't know how many people will be able to see that, but it's there. And this is what just you and I have talked about, is there is peace to be found in your present moment, even if the world implodes.
Yeah.
You can be grateful for things. You can be happy for things. Life is not about how much money you have, how much shit you can buy, even the type of food you can buy. Like that is not what happiness is. You know,
It really isn't. I mean, I'm with you. If there's anything we could get across more than that, I mean, it's a huge message, and it would be completely helpful to a lot of people.
yeah. Well, do you have anything else to add to that? Took up a little more time than I thought it would. Yeah, we're at 37 minutes.
Oh, that's it. I thought we'd be at like 50 minutes.
So, yeah, I think everything's going good.
It's going amazing.
Going amazing. We're enjoying our lives, and hopefully we can influence people to do the same for themselves.
Yeah, really. You know, it's like Andy talks about, if you want to make a difference in the world, it starts with you. And the biggest thing you can do is set yourself up to be free from basically being a slave to the world.
Andy Frizzell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, power is found within yourself. You just need to go after it. Yeah. Okay, so I guess call that good for now, and hopefully our hydroponics is full blast. Well, we took a week off, 2 weeks off for our vacation. We're back. We'll be doing it every week again.
Yeah.
We don't know why, but a couple of our episodes are missing on Spotify. I don't know if we swore or we talked about COVID or trans.
We don't know if we've been shadow banned or what's happening.
Yeah, we'll try to get those other episodes on.
They're really good. That should make you want to watch them more. So when episode 4 and 6 show up, don't miss them.
Yeah, controversial.
Super controversial.
So controversial that I think we probably had one play and they turned it off. That was enough people hearing that conspiracy
yeah, they
theory.
couldn't have any other people hear it. It was that good.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to sign off for now, and see you next week.